Yeah. I took my little stupid ass do-rag on. I got some way, you know. Like I was saying though, I've been rapping and producing since I was 12 years old. I was rapping since I was 12. I was producing since 2000, the year 2000. Y2K. And I started out rapping with my homeboys at the, you know what I'm saying, at the crib in the neighborhood. And about to graduate high school, my last year, I had an album that I had put out because I was just making the albums and shit and, you know, selling them. So I had made a new album. And I was finna put that shit out. This was in 2002, 2003, around that time. But by this time, I was solo. All my homeboys I was rapping with then moved from the neighborhood and moved on to doing other things. So at this point, I was solo. Boom. Cool. So, man, one day, the boss pulled up on me. Or the CEO of Boss Man Records pulled up on me. And long story short, I got signed with him. Put my first album out in 2005. 2007, I found Shawty Red, and that motherfucker told me, you rap bubblegum. And it shut my whole world down for a minute. So, that shit happened. And before Shawty Red told me that, TJ Chapman, the record promoter, was like, you don't have no substance in these records. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of them good. Ain't none of these fucking records good. This shit is whack. He ain't say that, but he was just like, you know, ain't no substance in them. Okay, cool. So then I get to Shawty Red, you know, 2007. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, you go in the booth, man, you be snapping. But when we come back and listen to it, that shit bubblegum. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, shit. I come back home and just go back in the fucking studio. And I'm working on records with Substance. The first couple records wasn't that good, but then, you know, after a while, I'm like, shit, this shit is pretty fucking good, nigga. I get it. But I was still lacking some substance. Like life experience substance. I was still missing that because I hadn't really done shit up when I signed with Boss Man Records. Up until that point, I hadn't really done shit in life. I did a couple things, you know, out in the world that you do in your neighborhood growing up, but I ain't really did nothing major. You did shit. So he yeah, so I hadn't done shit major. I ain't had no life experience really on doing shit. I had studio experience and I was all into the music, man. I was that technician then. Like I was a technician from the get-go. I didn't even know it. I mean, I wasn't even trying to wear that fucking hat neither. It wasn't like, oh, you nigga, I'm gonna be the producer. No. It just, that's just how the shit happened. So them niggas like, man, you ain't got no substance. And I'm like, yeah, you right. So my homeboy is who helped me get my life experience, Swipe Williams. Swipe Williams helped me get my life experience. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have none. I did have some, but I ain't have shit to rap about because I ain't do shit. Let me go out here and sell some dope so I can have something to rap about. That was basically my mind frame. Even though I didn't go out there and sell dope, I wasn't gonna go sell dope, but I knew I needed to go out here in the world and do something so I could have something to rap about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm real shallow. I was shallow as an artist. So I'm still making records though during this whole time. But my homeboy introduced me to swiping. Swipe Williams introduced me to swiping, and that right there was the game changer for me. That was the game changer. Because all I needed was something to do, to have something to rap about. I hadn't done shit, so I ain't had nothing to rap about. Damn. But now, shit, I got something to rap about. And that's where I got all my substance from. Swiping. Once I became a swiper, nigga, it was off to the races. Now I got something to rap about. But I just need to be clever in the way that I rap it now. You know what I'm saying? That saga, the saga of Swipe Jones was my best album. Now, I mean, I would still consider that my best album right now because I haven't released, nothing else full length like that. Everything's Under Control is a good album. You know what I'm saying? That shit is a good album. But it's just not, it's short, And the saga of Swipe Jones was an in-depth story from the beginning to end. And it's short too. It's only like 11 songs. But they all had substance and they was all about the life. It was my claim to fame, really. That's where my substance came from. So once I did that album, I didn't need to swipe no more. I didn't need to. And actually, to be honest, it was kind of like over once I did the album. Like the shit was kind of crazy. I wasn't 10 toes in the shit no more. Once the album was done, like shit had transpired, and I was like playing the back seat. I was doing other things. You know what I'm saying? I had other things going on. But hold up, I'm gonna tell you.
Come take one, please.
Hey, could I get a large order of bow rounds?
788 mil.
That's it.
378. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. But what I learned from the swiping was how to make substance records. Records with substance in them. That's what I learned from swiping. So I don't have to do nothing else. Other than live now. Because I understand. But swiping helped me get over that learning curve. As far as substance goes. Swiping helped me get over that fucking learning curve. Because that was a hell of a learning curve right there. Let me try this one first. I think I got some money on this shit. So yeah. Had it not been for swiping, who knows where young Swipe Jones would have been. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Obviously, still at this point or further. But this realization was always gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This realization was always gonna happen. What's happening?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
All right. Appreciate it.
Waiting on your boat round, okay?
All right. Yep. I ain't need to do nothing else no more. I know how to put substance in a record now. I know how to put that substance in a record. Just by living my regular life. But it took Shawty Red telling me that. Really Shawty Red, when he told me that shit, I went straight to the drawing board. I went right back to the drawing board. When TJ told me I was hating on him, I was like, man, he don't know what he talking about.
Hey, man, have a good one now.
You too, appreciate it. All right. Yeah. When TJ told me I ain't had no substance in my shit, I was like, man, he don't know what he talking about. But when Shawty Red told me, that shit hit home. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit. So I went straight to the drawing board and started digging within, nigga. Drawing that fucking substance without me. Nigga, bring it on out. I started making all kind of fucking records. So I gotta give Shawty Red his credit. And it's been a seesaw with me and my feelings about you know, how a lot of the situation went with me and him, but it's all good. That's still big bro. You know what I'm saying? And I learned, you know. Everywhere I've been, I have learned something. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been a shy, introverted person most of the time and most of the places I've been, I still was able to learn. I still was able to learn. I would have learned more not being so introverted, you know. But, you know, I was young too at that stage, you know. It's all about learning, man. But you have to stay in the fucking game. Never get out the game. This is my game. And I'm in it. But yeah, you got to stay in the game, man. This a little side story. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Just like my partner, man. If he would have been living right now, he would be thriving, man. But he died early, man. Swipe Williams, man. Right now, he would be thriving through this whole fucking pandemic. The shit was like right up his fucking alley, man. But he died, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to go so early, man. He could have still been around, man. And that's what I learned too. You have to stay in the game. You know what I'm saying? Don't exit early. You got to make sure you stay in the game as long as you can. Because if you stay in the game, your luck gonna change. The boss used to tell me, this is a gambler's philosophy, but you can add this philosophy to life. Your money lasts, your luck will change. Money lasts, luck will change. You know what I'm saying? If you last, your luck will change. You got to stay in the game. Stay in the game and keep fighting, man. Your luck will change. Your life will change. You're never going to stay down forever. Nothing is down forever. Not even trees. Trees get uprooted. But yeah, Shawty Red, man. When he told me that shit, it hit home, and you know, that's what really helped me get the substance that I needed. I haven't always listened to the advice people gave me. I would say I listened to most of it, though. I want to give myself credit and say I listen to most of the advice that people give me. I'm a good listener. Somebody may say, hey, man, you're wrong. You're not a good listener. But I would like to think that I'm a good listener. I listen to what a person tells me, and if it's something that I could that's gonna help me, I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah, this another thing Shawty Red told me too. He said, hey man, you write too much. You need to go off the top of your head. I'm like, no, I'm not a freestyler. And I start making excuses. Look at all these other people that write. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with writing. Nothing is wrong with writing. I'm not trying to tell you that nothing is. This ain't what he's saying, but this is me coming back years later, putting some perspective on it. Nigga, I'm not telling your stupid ass not to fucking write, nigga. I'm just saying you doing it too much. Try something else. You're gonna get something different if you try something else. This is how this nigga recorded. Off the top of his head, he'll punch in, say a couple bars, then come back and punch in till he got the whole verse. At Boss Man Records, I couldn't do that because the control room is here and the booth is over here. Even though a lot of times I did record myself in the pre-production part before any record that you heard that I did on Boss Man Records, the boss recorded it. And I did fucking 30 fucking takes of vocals on each track. The first verse got 30 tracks of vocals. The fucking hook got 30 tracks. The second and third verse both got fucking 30 tracks of fucking vocals. Fucking ad-libs, damn near 30 tracks of fucking vocals on that shit, nigga. Crazy. But any record that you heard with from Boss Man Records of me, the boss recorded it. Meaning I was in the booth and he was right there pushing record. But all of those records I recorded by myself first. So I would just push record, go around in the booth and record it. You know what I'm saying? And he would come back and we would critique it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, do the record. So his way of, for Shawty Red way of recording was to punch in. He said, he was like, man, you know, I'll wake up in the morning with some shit on my mind. He was basically telling me the formula of how he do it, you know, to help me incorporate it into what I do. He was like, man, I wake up with some shit on my mind, you know what I'm saying? And as I go out through the day, I just add to it. Then I get in the booth and just put that shit down. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. Fast forward years later, when I was in the Little House recording with Philemon or Phil J, that's how I started to record. I started to do that shit. Not even trying to. But I guess that goes to show when a person plants a seed in you, hell, that shit is gonna sprout eventually. Because I would have never in a million years imagined just recording like that. Because it was too loose. It was too loose. It wasn't tight enough. It was way too loose. It wasn't tight, in my opinion. But now that, you know, after I did it, I was like, man, this is what the fuck he talking about. And it brought out a different aspect versus me writing. And now I approach tracks like this. I'll fucking punch it in or I'll write it, depending on how the shit flows. But my personal preference is to have my own studio. Cool, I got my own studio. So as I think of the shit, I'll record it. You know what I'm saying? Joe got a little hat. Damn, that sound good. Let me record that real quick. So I'll put that down and then just add the fucking ideas to it. So I guess you could say I'm writing, but I'm not. I'm just recording the ideas and just adding and punching it. I guess you could say punching in and adding more ideas to it. And it's coming off the top of your head is a different kind of freedom than writing on the fucking paper. I can't really explain the paper mentality, like the mental thought you have when you writing that shit on paper, because it's just hard to explain that. But it's very different from fucking going off the top of your head. And I love that. I love to go off the top of my head when I'm at the studio. I'm at the crib now. This is my studio. I'm finna go and fucking bust some funky raps right now to some beats that I already made. And see, that's the thing, man. That is the thing. As a producer, you need your own studio. If you're a rapper, you need your own studio. But just say you're a producer and a rapper. You come up with 15 beats. You may not necessarily have a song for those beats when you made them, but you know they're good beats. But you like, okay, shit, I'm just gonna set them to the side. You get a fucking idea one day, and then you go to those 15 beats and see which beat the idea fits on. Man, that's how this shit works, man. I love that. My partner Joe, Bunker Hill, Schoolboy Spree, that is my A&R, man. I talk to that fool and we come up with some ideas, and I run immediately to them beats and see which one of those beats fits the idea that we just came up with. That's how a lot of these records made. Plasma was made by how did I make Plasma? From a conversation, because I'm a notary too, and I was stamping some shit for somebody from Virginia that was down here. Somebody from Virginia was trying to get something stamped for some people that was from here. So we was talking, and we were talking about Plasma and all of that shit. And you know, it just tripped him out. You know, the shit that I was telling him about Plasma. You know, it's kind of like our culture here. You know what I'm saying? For motherfuckers to go pump Plasma. And he was like, where he was from in Virginia, it wasn't no Plasma centers around, and this shit was foreign to him. And then I was like, damn. So I was kicking it with him, and then I told my A&R, I told him about the conversation we had, and he was like, yeah, man, you need to make a record about this shit. I'm like, hey, man, you right. Because a lot of people don't know about this shit. And then the people around here that don't do it, they look at the shit like it's some nigger rig shit, you know what I'm saying? Some bullshit, like only junkies do it. People that, you know, just don't have jobs and homeless motherfuckers, the only people that sell Plasma. But once you find out the history of Plasma, you be like, shit, nigga, this is something they making so much money under your noses, you don't even fucking know it. It's a big multi-billion-dollar business or industry. Everybody go there, because I was in there, and you know what I'm saying, I seen people in there pumping plasma years ago. When I was pumping plasma, I ain't pumped plasma years, but when I was pumping plasma, the people, I'm gonna tell you one person that I was in there pumping plasma with was somebody I went to school with. This nigga right now got money out his ass. Motherfucker got cars, he got jewelry, he got money now. That's why you can't look at people that pump plasma like they second-hand citizens or second-class citizens. Nah, motherfucker. It's regular people going in there pumping plasma. Then when you find out the benefits of plasma, like my stepdaughter, she had to get convalescent plasma. I don't think it was convalescent plasma, but she had to get plasma when she was going through what she was going through. So, man, shit. Plasma is essential. Then when you research it and find out that you need plasma to live, shit, nigga, you can't look at that shit like it's some old back alley junction. Nigga, that's some real shit. And they, you know, they might have the image of all of these people being bums and shit going in there because maybe you got a job and you don't need to do that. But nigga, it's a lot of people pumping plasma and they paying big money. But yeah, that's how a lot of these fucking records come, man. From conversations, you know what I'm saying? But it comes from a place of substance. You gotta have something to get something, you know? You can't understand the concept of Jesus without reading the Bible. You gotta have something to get something. Ain't no need in you buying no motherfucking Jordans if you don't have feet. You gotta have something to get something. So yeah, man. The artist that you're looking at today, it took a lot of fucking bricks to build this artist. A whole lot of bricks. I went through a lot of struggles to be this motherfucker. Nobody in my mom and daddy was against it. My sister always been in my corner. A lot of people, a lot of family have been in my corner with this music shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't. But you have to stand strong in your convictions. Whatever you riding with, stand strong with that shit and stand up for it. I'm out. We'll holler back.